down here again, so I don't know if you could hear that squeak. It is kind of annoying. So there's a, you can't see it down there, but there was a very loud squeak. I don't know if you can see that shiny pulley back there, but I determined that thing was bad, which it was. It was making a horrible squeak. And that solved the problem, but now I got a squeak back. And when I did that pulley a few months back, that belt, I put a new belt on, but I know it doesn't look new now, but so I got to get to the bottom of the squeak. None of these pulleys are adjustable per se. I mean, you can't, So I checked out the idler, I checked out this, and I checked out that as far as when I first did this, and it did go away, the squeak, but now it's back. So I'm thinking that it could be the belt. But here's what I'm also thinking, that, hold on, let me show you this stuff. I'm thinking I probably screwed that belt up by putting this stuff on it. This belt dressing, prevents slipping and squealing of belts, extends the life of a V-belt. So I have a feeling that screwed my belt up, believe it or not. It's for this stuff. And it did, I could start this right now and it'll stop that from squeaking. But I've heard so many stories where that stuff is the worst stuff for your belt. And I'm thinking that's what it is. So I'm going to get another belt anyways, just because I can't stand the squeak and it won't go away. It used to warm up and go away, but now it's all the time. So I'm going to take this belt off and look at a few pulleys, spin a few pulleys. I don't think it's any pulleys, because they ain't been that long, and the other ones were good, but I'll do it again anyways. Then I got an idea. I'm going to wire brush all them pulleys and get, I think there's probably this stuff in the grooves, and it just, according to everything I'm reading or everything you see online, the stuff is the worst. Not particular Napa, I mean, belt dressing in general. So I'm going to put the test, put it to the test. I'm going to try to clean all the pulleys and take that belt off, see if there's any problem with the belt, and then put it back on with everything clean. If the squeak goes away, it's just because all this stuff was gummed up in the grooves and maybe around the idlers. I don't know. Just going to do a little test. And then if it does solve the trick, I am going to get a new belt anyways, because I don't think this will work. But if it does work, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me get this apart and see what that belt looks like. If it looks okay. I mean, I don't think there's an alignment problem. Why it's squeaking, but that power steering pulley is rusty, so maybe it is catching on the edge of the belt, and maybe it did affect the belt itself. I don't know if it'll focus on that belt, but let me get everything apart and see if the edge of that belt is messed up or something's going on. I can't stand that squeak. I gotta solve this. So let me get this apart. So we took a few parts off, and it does look like the inside of that belt has a little track on it, so there's that. Doesn't look like too much dust on it, but I gotta get that belt up. But so down here, looking at this other belt, the air conditioned belt, which I completely forgot about down there, and it doesn't look too healthy. Looks like one side is being worn there, so that might be my little squeaking problem right there. I didn't even realize that it's a separate belt. I thought maybe it would be one belt does all, but it's not. So this little air conditioned belt way down yonder. So I can actually figure that out really quick, right? I'll take this serpentine belt off, start the car up. If she still squeaks, then I solve my problem. Well, didn't solve the problem, but at least see that pulley way down there? That's the one where is it? Or maybe it's this top one. One of these idlers, or adjusters, or tensioners rather. I think I might have replaced that one. Although the bottom one looks new too. I might have done both of them. I can't remember. I don't know if you can see that bottom one down there. Just barely now. Where is it? Straight down. That one there. I think I did that one. Now I can't remember. Let me take this belt off. See if the squeak goes away. If the squeak does go away, and it's a serpentine belt, If it does not go away, then it's my air conditioned belt, which either way I'm good with as far as, well, then I can spin the pulley. Hold on, let me take that belt
So I'm in
off.
here cleaning this pulley here, and quite a bit of rust is coming off of there, so I'm thinking maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe it's just hitting the sides of the belt or swelled it up. I don't know. And I'm just using a, you know, like a carbide scraper here. It's working pretty good. I'm just putting it on the edge here and rotating it, and it's taking off quite a bit of rust. So I don't know if that's here. Let me try to zoom in and see if you can see this rust pouring off of there. I mean, it's a lot better than it was. So I don't know if it's choking the, can't see that bad. You know, not a lot of, it's not catching on a lot. It's rotating pretty easy, but this side, I went around this thing about 4 times now, and it's still catching rust and scraping it off. See it? Look at all that crap. I mean, the belt ain't worn on there. As far as, you know, I don't see any thread or, you know, that white fiber showing. Let me blow all this off and see if that helps. Put the old belt on.
So I bet you a lot of shit comes out of here. Not too bad. Well, I could probably get that better, but I want to see if this makes a difference. It's hard to get that crank pulley too, because, you know, you can't rotate it. Well, not easily anyways, but it doesn't look too bad. There ain't no rust ring on that. If the rust ring on this was pretty thick. So hopefully scraping off most of that rust did the trick. And then looking at the belt, you know, further looking at it, there is sort of a get the light just right, sort of a darker groove on that inside, and that's the way it was riding. It doesn't have any indication which way to go, but I always put the writing so you can read it when you're putting it on. So I know it was this way, and it does look like it's worn. Doesn't feel like it, but it does look, you know, up close like it might have been scraping on that rust. The edge of it doesn't look bad. Again, it doesn't look bad. So let me put this belt on to it. I will be shocked if this actually works, because all I do is clean that pulley up. Well, I clean them all up with that rust there. I'll be shocked if this actually works, just because you know, it was squeaking pretty bad. It really was. Get down there. Alright, everything looks like it's on. Watch your eyes. Sounds like it's coming from that power steering pulley. It does. Yeah, it's hard to tell. What I'm going to do, one more time. Belt up one more time. Start this up so I can hear, and I'll put this, because before I had this snorkel off, so maybe it was squeaking. I just didn't hear it because of the air. Probably wrong, but so I guess I'm just gonna get a belt if this doesn't work. So let me take this off right quick and see if that does anything. Ah, you prick. Come on, let go. My radiator was in the way. Alright, so let me sneak this out of here. One more time with the trying it without with the belt on. Boy. I think it is that fucking. There's that lower air conditioning pump. I didn't hear it before. Son of a gun. Attacking the wrong thing. So now, when I took that off the first time and ran it, because that it was getting too much air, I couldn't really hear it. So now I'm thinking it is. Maybe it's that lower pulley or lower idler. Let me take that off. See what happens. All right. Well, let's see. It does have that groove on. It's not really a groove. It's a mark though, for sure, on the outside. The inside doesn't look bad, but we're going to find out if this is the booger making a noise. But I have a sneaky suspicion. I rotated that idler pulley for the air conditioning belt. It's one of those deals where it's hard to tell, you know, because it's probably got to be under a load. But let me just see if this makes any more noise. If it doesn't make noise, then I guess I'm going to get a belt in that lower idler. That should solve my problem, yeah? Let's see. No air conditioning belt. Let's see what happens. I can tell already. Nice and quiet, other than regular engine noise. That was it. So, all that for nothing. Well, not for nothing. I finally got to the bottom of it. So, now, shit, that garage should be cold. It's probably easier to attack from underneath. Let me take that bottom idler off. See if that's my guy. Obviously I'm going to get a belt anyways, but just curious on why it's got this mark on the outside. So let's see. Let me get over to the pit and see what things are. Alright, let's take a gander at looks like the AC there. See if I can sneak in somewhere and look. The light's too bright. Oh, there it is. So that's the idler under there. I'll tell you, it doesn't look old. It looks kind of new. I think I did that, but I'm not 100% sure. The bolts look rusty, but the actual unit looks good. Let me take the skid plate off. Look at those goddamn rust, man. Jeez, you can't keep anything in New England. Well, I guess the only good news is if Napa doesn't have, you know, the belt or whatever's bad or the tensioner, then you don't really have to worry about it, you know, if it's not in stock, because it's just an air conditioning belt. Who needs that in the winter, right? I don't know. Well, let's see. Take a look, anyways. Don't break, you friggin' bolts. What do I need? Rusty. Let's see if I get broke. Nope. I don't like the looks of that anyways. A wet belt. Oh, jeez. It's not one thing, it's another. You know? Why is that all wet? I have to get a light up in there. Son of a gun. Alright, a leaky power steering hose now. Anyways, that's the guy I'm looking for right there. Let's see. Got my fan running in the background. I don't know. I don't think I hear any noise. It's a little rustering here, but I can't imagine that's making that squeaking noise. It seems tight, and it does seem like it's a newer piece. Might be just a belt. Might get lucky with just a belt. Everything seems quiet and tight. Well, maybe it is just a belt. Let me go get a belt, see if they got a belt. Put it on, because this does look fairly new. I mean, maybe it's just because it's the way you know, the aluminum just. Now, see how that's discolored? I bet you I put this on. It's hard to make. I don't hear anything, but it's hard to tell. Anyways, let me put a belt on. If that does the trick, then hey. All right. So I pulled her back outside because I have a feeling it's this guy here. This belt they had, it's 26 bucks for this booger. But if you can see that, see how it's got, well, I got a wicked glare in my viewfinder, so I don't know what I'm looking at, but this, the cords there that you can see, they're on both sides of this belt, yeah? Made in Mexico, but it doesn't have any direction as far as, you know, one way or the other. Again, I always put these on where you can read them, so, you know, that's the way I always put them on. But looking at this old belt, it does have this this weird, it's not a groove, it's just like, it's a wear mark. But if you notice here on, where was it? Well, yeah, you gotta look really close, but if you notice, like there's some of them fiber cords, you know? I don't know if you can see that. And this side here doesn't have it. It's like there's a, you know, like a groove. Doesn't have the fiber cords, so I don't know what's going on with that. See how the fiber cords are on this side? I don't know if that camera's making it out, but so I like to just go with this belt. Maybe something's causing this belt to screw up like that. It's the same width, just you know, compared them, but something's goofed this thing up. The idler they had for 35 bucks, or not the idler, I keep calling it the tensioner for 35 bucks, but it does look like I've already replaced that once, or it's been replaced. I'm only a second owner on this truck, so I know it's, you know, I had a Napa belt on it, so that's been replaced, but I'm going to do it again. Hopefully I'll get rid of my squeak and no more, you know, hungry birds under the hood. And if it doesn't do it, and it turns out it is the, what's that part number there? If it turns out it is the tensioner, then they have it in stock. It's pretty common. It's 36 bucks, which I think is reasonable. The belt was just $10 cheaper. So if it is that, I'll do that in the summer when it's not so goddamn cold out, because I don't need the air conditioner right now. Maybe for the frost or whatever, but I don't really care about that. I'll do that in the summer if it is the tensioner. I have a feeling it's this guy, just because of the way that belt looks. So let me put this booger on right quick, and hopefully, like I said, I'll get rid of that those hungry birds under the hood, because it's really annoying. You know, you're trying to warm your vehicle up, and you can hear it inside. It's just this high pitch, you know. Anyways, I thought it was the serpentine belt. I was wrong, and I was thinking that. I don't know why I was thinking that, because it's not like yeah, see right here, looks like let's see, that says V6 engines. It doesn't have a separate belt. This one does. That's the engine I have, V8. It's got the AC, well actually that's the tensioner, yeah. So it's got three things really that can go wrong: the AC compressor, the belt, or the tensioner, you know, make that noise. I guess you can call it the crank, but taking that belt off, the noise went away. So it's either the belt, the tensioner, or the AC pulley, you know. It's one of those three. If it's the AC pulley, forget about it. I'll just wait till it breaks, because I ain't replacing that. You know, I'll put up with the birds chirping. And this one looks like there was, looks like it could be an option maybe, I don't know. Vacuum pump. Oh, that's a diesel motor. Wow, they got all kinds of pulleys going on. But anyways, that's my configuration there. And I just assumed it was the serpentine belt making a noise, or one of the pulleys. Never really crossed my mind about the AC, just because it's hidden and it's out of sight and you don't even, you know, see it. So anyways, that's what it was. And let me put this on and put everything back together. And like I said, hopefully I'll have a quiet truck, at least for the time being. And if it is something that's causing that belt to go, like the AC, you know, pulley or even a tensioner is causing the belt to wear out prematurely, at least I know, you know, where to start looking. So there's that. So let me put this back on. All right, so I got the belts on. Let's see if this thing squeaks. Uh-oh. I start it without tearing the radiator hose up. Yeah, no, that should clear. Because I didn't put all this crap back on. Yeah, now I need a radiator hose because I just sliced it. Looks like everything's it's gonna miss here, so let me start this up, see if it too. Yeah, that sounds normal. Turn this off. Here's my 2 cents. Whatever it's worth. Probably 2 cents. Maybe even less. So, at first I misdiagnosed the serpentine belt, yeah? Because I took the belt off and I thought the squeak went away. So, obviously it's got something to do with the serpentine belt, you know, the main V belt there, or a pulley, whether it's the alternator, there's idlers, there's tensioners. Generally speaking, I don't think the crank pulley can make a squeak. I guess it could. I guess, you know, because I cleaned the rust off the power steering pulley, because originally I thought that, you know, that was impeding, and it was. I scraped a lot of rust off of that. Turns out it wasn't anything to do with that, because I misdiagnosed it. The second go around, when I put the belt, you know, after I figured out nothing was changing, I took the serpentine belt off one more time, hooked the airbox back up, because that was impeding on my hearing. You know, the thing was sucking, the engine was dying, I just couldn't hear the chirping. And goddamn birds were chirping, I didn't hear them. Turns out it was just a belt. That's not the original belt from the vehicle. It's a 2002 vehicle. This is 2007, I was going to say 17, it's 2018, so it's a Napa belt, so it's not the original belt, but the belt was messed up as far as it didn't look right. What's causing that? I don't know. It's quiet now, so hopefully there's only, you know, it's the crankshaft inner pulley there towards the block and runs, you know, the air conditioner, so it's just them 2 pulleys there plus the tensioner. So I'm glad it's not the tensioner. It was just a belt. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Could be an alternate belt, a you know, auxiliary belt or whatever you want to call it, not the main belt, not the main pulleys. That guy kind of forgot about, just because it's underneath everything. You just don't think about that stuff. Well, I guess you do think about it, but anyway, that's all I got. Turns out it was just this little, whatever it is, 20, 15-inch belt, whatever it is, making all this racket. And hopefully I got it licked. But if I didn't get it licked, if this noise comes back, I guess I'll repost something, but I'm hoping that that's it, because I did rotate that tensioner. It seems smooth, everything seems okay. So hopefully that was just, even though it was from Napa, maybe it was just a belt that just wore out prematurely. Again, I don't know, that could be 10 years old, that belt. I don't even know. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching.